We always like to complain when the small market Milwaukee Brewers don't spend a lot of money. And in this case, they didn't spend a lot of money, but they're getting a lot of bang for that buck. And why this might be one of the best signings in the offseason by anybody. Bang for your buck. Talking about Jose Quintana leading the Brewers to another win. All that and more coming up next on this edition of Locked On Brewers.
You are Locked On Brewers, your daily Milwaukee Brewers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yeah, Brewer fans, I'm with you on the spending. I get it. I get the frustration. I get it. I saw this coming in the early 90s and into the mid-90s when the Brewers couldn't spend, and it's carried over, and there was potential for a salary cap in 1994 with the players' strike, a lockout. Owners gave in, and it definitely hurt the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the arguments against that are, well, the Brewers are still winning. Small market teams, Kansas City won the World Series. Small market teams are winning. Oakland was doing it there for a while before they fell in the tank. But the Milwaukee Brewers, yeah, they're winning division titles. They're not winning World Series championships, but they're winning 90 games over the last couple of seasons, and they're doing it with great signings. Some work, some don't. In this case, this one is a great one for the Milwaukee Brewers in Jose Quintana. So far, so good. We'll explain coming up here in a little bit. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Off the top, in case you missed it, Brewers 11-3 winners over San Francisco to even that series at a game apiece out in the Bay Area. The Brewers now 13-11 on the season. But Quintana, 6 innings, 3 hits, became the first pitcher since CC Sabathia to win his first 3 games as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. Man, CC, 18 years ago. Man, where did the time fly on that? Yeah, they're boys and girls, there was a pitcher named CC Sabathia who the Brewers got at the trading deadline, not a little bit before the trading deadline. It was like Summerfest weekend, early July, and he turned out to carry the Brewers into the playoffs for the first time in 27 years, 2008, and it was 17 years ago. Well, Quintana becomes the first Brewer since that guy to start off with a 3-0 record, and he was just terrific again. Now, this is the Quintana that we've seen so many times for so many different teams, including teams in this division. And I saw him in the postseason when he played pitched for the Mets against the Brewers. He is making just under $5 million a year. All right. And he was a guy that nobody wanted to sign. Nobody wanted Jose Quintana. In fact, the Brewers waited it out on him. The Mets didn't re-sign him. The Brewers waited it out on him. The Mets, they went and signed. They decided to save their money for Soho and a few other guys. Sean Manaea, they gave him 3 years, $75 million, and he hasn't even pitched an inning yet. He's been suffering from the oblique. But you look at some of these pitchers that were signed, and I'm not comparing Quintana to these guys, but I am production-wise. And again, maybe I'm putting the cart before the horse here, and it's only 3 games, but I got to like what I've seen from the veteran Quintana going out there, and even when he gets in trouble, he's not rattled at all. Not saying the other Brewer pitchers do, but he's a guy in his mid to upper 30s who's just going out there and being the veteran pitcher that he is. Really is just a force on this pitching staff, on a pitching staff that's doesn't get enough credit as it is, I don't think. But you look at some of these other guys. Okay, Quintana, 1 year, it was like $4.5 million the Brewers signed him for. Our old friend Corbin Burns, 6 years, $210 million with Arizona. You think that was worth it? Max Fried, 8 years, $218 million. Come on, please. Blake Snell with the Dodgers, who throw money all over the place, 5 years, $182 million. I mentioned Manaea, 3 years, $75 million. That was the 4th richest contract in baseball last year. You think they wouldn't want to have Quintana right now instead of Manaea, who's given them nothing so far and is making $25 million a year? Tanner Scott, 4 years, $72 million. Severino, we saw Saturday night against the Brewers, 3 years, $67 million from Oakland of all teams. Nick Pivetta, 4 years, $55 million. The point is, Jack Flaherty, 2 years, $35 million. Brewers, 1 year, $4.5 million on Quintana, and has given him more than some of these guys that I've mentioned so far. So, yeah, we complain, and I do. I'm right there with you when the Brewers don't go out and spend some money. And pitching costs a lot of money. Pitching is the number one money killer out there. All right, that's the Brewers couldn't sign a Corbin Burns and guys like that. They would, Ben Sheets, had he stayed healthy, he would have never stuck around. Had he stayed healthy and been great. But the Brewers, what they have to do, they have to find guys like this that nobody seems to want anymore, sign him for a low, undervalued contract, and hope he overperforms it. So far, the Brewers at $4.5 million, they got 3-0 out of Quintana. Definitely, you'd be hard pressed to find another starting pitcher who is a veteran. Okay, a veteran who signed in the offseason with another team. That's a better value than this so far. And again, it's only 3 games in, but we got to love what we see so far. I mean, you're a fool if you don't think that so far that's a good deal. And they got him from the Mets. You think the Mets, they're giving $25 million a year to Manaea, getting nothing out of him. And Quintana, 3 terrific starts for the Brewers so far. Again, 6 innings, 3 innings, 3 hits on Tuesday night. And the Brewers, after playing a miserable game on Monday night, what does this team do under Pat Murphy? Well, they bounce back and they do a lot of great things right. And for a second time in 3 games, they score double-digit runs, which is good to see. Comfortable win, an easy chair win, a beanbag win. Did you have a beanbag in your house like I did? I got a beanbag in my basement yet that I bought like 15 years ago. It's got hardly any beans in it, but a beanbag win. You sit in those beanbags and they are relaxing. That's what this was. This was a comfortable win, 11-3, and improving the Brewers to 13-1. But yeah, all those guys, stupid money baseball teams throw around, and I just love it. I love it when the Yankees and the Dodgers feel like they can throw this money out there, and I love it when it backfires in their face. And when a team like the Brewers can sign a guy like Quintana for 1 year and $4.5 million and make it work, because the system's never going to change. The system in baseball is never going to change. This is the way it's going to be. It hasn't changed. It had a chance 30 years ago. It hasn't changed, and it's not going to change anytime soon. What I'm hoping it changes is the production on the left side of the infield. Well, Caleb Durbin is having something to say about that. He had a second 2-hit game since joining the Brewers last Friday. And that was good to see. We'll talk about that. And Ortiz, I don't know. Ortiz is struggling. Did not play on Tuesday night. They gave him a day off, but we'll talk about that coming up next here on Locked On Brewers. Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. SupplyHouse. Man, SupplyHouse. I know the guys in my neighborhood can't stay up late night and watch the Brewers games because the guys in my neighborhood, a lot of these guys, electrical work, plumbing, HVAC, these guys are up and out of the house early with their trucks, and they're moving on. I turned one guy in the SupplyHouse, and he loves it. He loves it. Complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands. You'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. You need help from an order with SupplyHouse? Well, they offer expert support, industry-leading service. You always get a real person to talk to, so it's not some recording you got to breathe into. Free Trademaster program. What they offer here is exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, discounts at every order. Thousands of skilled professionals already take advantage, like the guy down the street, and now it's your turn. Join the Trademaster program at SupplyHouse.com, SupplyHouse.com/TM. Start ordering plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies, just a few clicks. Use the promo code SH5. You get 5% off your first order. That's SupplyHouse.com, SupplyHouse.com. Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers, part of Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. And by the way, our podcast, we're here every day. You get us on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your audio podcast. We're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet. We drop for a night game. We drop in the overnight hours. So you'll have it in your mailbox on your phone, or go to our growing YouTube page, search Locked On Brewers, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll alert you every time we drop an episode. But we're on Amazon, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, all the audio platforms. Please set it. I'm getting so excited here. I hit the microphone. Set the alert buttons on your podcast platform, and that'll alert you every time we drop an episode. And of course, I always let you know when we drop one on YouTube, and also on my Twitter page, Chuck Freeman, Freimund. Freimund is the last name. Chuck Freeman, longtime sportscaster here in the state of Wisconsin. Love talking Brewers baseball. Just starting here my third year hosting this, and I love it. Love being at the mic after all these games, even though it's a late night tonight, late night into the early morning hours, but I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Hey, I'm not one of these guys going to say, well, I'll just do it in the morning. No, I'm going to get it done after the game. Write my script, write what I'm going to talk about here, and deliver it so you have it in the morning. I'm not just because the West Coast game. I'm not going to say, well, I'll wait in the morning and do it. No. We're excited about Brewers baseball. Our team is knocking on the door of another division title, hopefully, and we're going to get this stuff. This is in demand right here. All right. Yeah, Ortiz did not play. The question is, do you ride him out? What do you do? Well, you don't have any options, do you? Capper played at shortstop tonight, and Capper went 0 for 4 and dropped that batting average to 0.83. And it's not like he's got 10 at bats. Capper's into the season. All right. He hasn't played much lately, but it comes a point, what are you going to do with Capper? Okay. Because he's obviously not a bona fide option. And Ortiz, what can he do there? Bring up Monasterio? No. Ortiz is your shortstop. You've committed to him playing shortstop, and I don't know what direction. You already got you had a problem at third base. You're hoping Durbin solved that third base problem, and the jury's still on that. But now, Ortiz just can't seem to turn it around. He cannot get it going. He has just been terrible at the plate. He's been okay in the field defensively, but you could say, well, the Brewers got to bench Ortiz. So what are they going to do? Who's going to play shortstop? And I've heard maybe Durbin the second, and then put Terang at short and move Ortiz over to third, and maybe over third base. You're just rearranging the deck there. Somebody emailed me or messaged me on that. Move him over to third base. I don't think that's the problem. He's just he's struggling, but you have no choice. Just like you have no choice right now to ride Durbin out at third base. Like when Murphy says, well, Durbin's my third baseman. Well, he's got to say that. Where's he going to turn? Who else is it going to be? It's not going to be Capper anymore. Not going to be Monasterio. Nobody's traded you a third baseman. Like Rockies aren't going to call you up and say, here, take Ryan McMahon off our hands, even though he's struggling. No, that's not happening. Not in late April. So you are basically got to ride out Ortiz and hope and pray. A year ago, we loved the kid heading into May. Wasn't he a National League Player of the Month in May? I mean, he was terrific in May. Since then, he had that little bit of that neck soreness in the second half of the season. He's supposed to be injury-free, but he's not been very good. I think the jury is still out on whether or not he is a good player. I know we got a board, because of what he did in May last year, but let's ride him out here a little bit. The great thing about the Brewers is they develop players while they're winning baseball games, and that's a good thing to have. So Ortiz did not play. Terang had 4 hits. Great to see. Terang has just been where would they be without Terang? Just continuing to produce. Tied, I believe, a career high with the 4 hits. Got on base 5 times. Yelich, the grand slam, highlighted an 8-run 6th inning. He was sitting on that one. He had to count 2-0, worked it to 2-2, and then let one go to center field. And that made it 9-1, and that was it. Yelly has raised his batting average to 222. Speaking of production, Terang isn't, and I don't expect Terang to hit home runs, but you look at home run production, they're not getting anything from second, short, and third. Terang is doing a great job. I'm just saying he's not and he'll never be the power hitter that we hope. He's just not a power hitter. He's getting on base. That's the way he is. He's the guy who's going to base steal bases and do great defensively. But second, short, and third pretty much count on zero powers from home runs of those positions right now. I can get any power numbers at all from those positions. Bowers hit a home run. Bowers played, they want to get Bowers. They're just dying to get Bowers in that lineup. You can't let Rhys Hoskins play 3 or 4 games in a row. You're dying to get Bowers in that lineup. And he did. He had a nice night. He went 3 for 5 and he had a home run. So I guess I can't complain about that. But my feelings on Rhys Hoskins, how much I want him to be in that lineup every single day. All right. Garrett Mitchell, 0 for 4. We're going to talk about him tomorrow night. We'll talk more about Garrett Mitchell because his batting average is down to 200 right now. We'll get to that coming up next. Woodruff, an update on him. Blake Perkins. We'll look ahead to Wednesday's game. And the Brewers now 1-1 on this road trip. 1-1 on this road trip on a 10-gamer. Got 2 more games in San Francisco. Got the 3 this weekend in St. Louis, Friday through Sunday. And then in Chicago to take on the White Sox Tuesday through Thursday next week. We'll get to Woodruff and see what happened with him. And also another great pitching performance from one of our rising stars in the minor league system. We'll get to that. Coming up next, Chuck Freeman here on Locked On Brewers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. Wonderful pistachios. I tell you, every day I go get that workout in. I hate working out, to be honest with you. I don't like it, but it's a necessary evil. I get that workout in. I come home. I put those pistachios in the yogurt, the fat-free yogurt, and away I go. Delicious, nutritious, a good source of protein. We all need protein, and Wonderful Pistachios provides that. Each 1 ounce serving, 6 grams of protein. That gives you over 10% of your daily value. We didn't look at this stuff 30 years ago, but now we do. And the protein, it's important. It's in Wonderful Pistachios. The no shells variety, perfect for that grab and go ease. The satisfying crack of opening each shell is like snack meditation. So whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works for you. And I said, put those in some yogurt sometime, mix it up really good, and you'll thank me later. Get snacking, get cracking, the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Wonderfulpistachios.com and find out what it has for you. The protein, 10% of your daily value, and all the fiber and unsaturated fats to keep you feeling fuller longer with Wonderful Pistachios. Down the stretch we come here on Locked On Brewers. Thanks for everybody for joining me late night tonight. Early morning hours here in the great state of Wisconsin. One more night game, and then they are back to the Central Time Zone coming up Friday. Afternoon game coming up Thursday at 2:45 start in San Francisco. All right, a couple of questions I want to clear here before I get to Woodruff. Charles says, a prediction, Logan Henderson will be back up at the starting rotation soon. I originally thought Murphy might go with a 6-man. But that would cost a bullpen position or an extreme or more extreme, a regular position player. Yeah, they're not going to go with a 6-man. I kind of tossed that out there the other day too, Charles. They're not going with a 6-man. No room for Logan Henderson. Nothing he did wrong. Just the numbers game right now. And position player, no. They need all the position players they can get right now. And the bullpen position, yeah, Piamps does not have an option. You would hope that Piamps would accept a demotion down to AAA, but who knows? Another team might think that they could figure him out. I'm not done with Piamps anyway. I really am not, even though he has struggled. Charles also added, Chuck, good analogies on the Adames contract last year. Yeah, yesterday Adames was saying that the Brewers didn't come to him in the offseason or didn't even give him a phone call. And I was like, there's no need for the Brewers. What are you going to say? Well, Dawn says this. Dawn begs to differ. She says this, good management always makes a call. It could go like this. Hey, Willie, look, what we are working with. We can't match anything. Just checking in. Let us know what we could do. And hey, man, we'd love to have you. There was probably that conversation somewhere down the line toward the end of the season between Arnold, his agent, and Adames. Of course, it went without saying that the team many times, the organization many times, a few accolades to Willie's way, many times, maybe excessively praised him. So there's no doubt when the season came to an end last year, Arnold said, thank you. Hey, man, thanks for everything you did here and all that. There's no doubt. But there's no need to call him up again and say, oh, by the way, Willie, this is Matt Arnold here, your former boss. We want to appreciate everything you've done for us again. No, there's no need for that. That's not how it works. Andrew says it would be nice to have Colin Ray right about now. He's got a 1.32 earned run average pitching for the Cubs through 13 innings. You don't need Colin Ray. You got 12 or 13 guys when everyone is healthy that could potentially make a start of this rotation. Don't need Colin Ray. No, Colin Ray is good. It's great that he's having some success down in Chicago. The Brewers, obviously, through their analytics guys, thought that they got the most out of Colin Ray in his 2 seasons here, and it was time to cut him loose. And the Brewers don't need Colin Ray. They don't. They have plenty of guys, and they have an abundance of guys. It's going to be interesting, where they can't even keep Logan Henderson in the rotation. What's going to happen when Ashby comes back? DL Hall may be at the end of May or early June. Cortez. I'm not holding out high hopes that Cortez even comes back this season. Woodruff, another guy, will have another appearance on the mound on Thursday in Nashville. He's getting a lot of Nashville work. He might as well be renting a condo down in Nashville because he's been getting some good turns down in Nashville. Hope he's enjoying the music, the great food down there. But Woodruff is going to make another start Thursday in Nashville. No timetable yet for his return. Blake Perkins, according to Adam McCalvey, Perkins is going to be starting baseball activities very soon. Jacob Mizorowski did it again. 6 innings, 1 hit, 8 Ks. Will we see the Miz up here this year? Is there room for the Miz? 8 Ks, 1 hit, 6 innings. He worked on the hill. Brewers stay behind the Cubs in the NL Central. And the Cubs came back and beat the Dodgers. God, I was pulling for the Dodgers in that one. Brewers stay 1.5 games behind the Cubs. After the Cubs improved to 15-10 with a comeback win, they were down 10-7 late in that game against the Dodgers. Almost wanted to go on the Dodgers live line. I stayed away. I think the Cubs are going to have some magic in them this year. Not more magic than the Brewers, but I think they got some magic to them this year. They're going to pull out some games like they did on Tuesday night, and they came back and they beat the Dodgers 11-10. God, you don't pull for the Dodgers much, but when they play the Cubs, you certainly do. All right, starting pitching coming up. The pitchers coming up for the final start in San Francisco. Freddie Peralta, and Freddie has just been absolutely amazing for the Brewers. 2-1, ERA of under 2. Freddie, every one of his starts, that first start at Yankee Stadium, he gave up a couple of home runs, pitched into the 5th inning. But since then, real good. ERA over under 2. Pitching like an ace is Freddie Peralta so far with the Milwaukee Brewers. Logan Webb takes his 2-1 record to the hill for San Francisco. The Giants fall to 15-9 after the Brewers beat them. Quality win. Gotta love it, everybody. When the Brewers can go out on the West Coast and get a win against a team like the San Francisco Giants. One of those teams from the National League West might be left out the door this year. We'll see. Can they all keep at the pace they're playing at right now? They're all playing well. Probably the best division in baseball, there's no doubt, between Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego. All right, let's hope Freddie gives them one coming up on on Wednesday night, another late start. Boy, these West Coast games, they used to go until like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. But then they scaled back the rules last year and the timing of these games aren't going deep into the night anymore. It's going to do it for Locked On Brewers, everybody. My name is Chuck Freeman. Thanks for following us on Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your podcast. We're the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet because you great Brewer fans out there. And of course, you get us on YouTube as well. Search Locked On Brewers on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. That'll let you every time we drop an episode. And as always, DM me if you have a Brewer question. You don't want to do it publicly. You want to DM me. I'll always take those. Hit me up at Chuck Freeman on Twitter. Chuck, Freimund. Have yourself a great Wednesday. Chuck Freeman on Locked On Brewers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. So long, everybody.